Professor,
yes,
because we talked about the public participation aspect.
Yes.
And the lawyers representing the president and the ODM party chief did say that it's Junet Mohammed and Dennis Oweru who started the popular initiative, not the two principals. But the argument is, and the question I pose, what Junet Mohammed and then Dennis Oweru picked up is a byproduct of the coming together between the president and the ODM party chief, which listed 9-point agenda to address our problems as a country. So it doesn't happen in a vacuum, isn't it? It will feed into the handshake itself.
That is true what you are saying. But again, the other question will be, even if that process feeds to what had happened earlier, can you count that as part of the referendum? Okay, we know we can trace it back, but can we count that activity, for example, handshake and the 9-point agenda and all that, can we count that as evidence, for example, admissible in law that this is how it started? Or where does it start? Again, we go back to what Mheshimiwa was saying in terms of the process, how is it done, how is it promoted, you know, and all that. So the problem is that, but I don't think in a court of law, somebody can stand and say, you know, we know this started from the handshake, because even the handshake itself, when BBI is being promoted, although we know it was a product of that, can you really return it back and reference it back to the handshake? We know politically, yes, but legally, where does this start? And I think that is when we started our discussion. That is where I went back and asked, how or where does it start?
The point of the start.
The start.
You see, to say Junet and Waweru represent the popular initiative is giving a very pedestrian, lowly justification or rationalization of a very weighty matter. It can't be. This thing, they came into the scene much later, after the process already started. And we know how the process started. The fact of the matter is that people talk of sub judice. Sub judice is that you cannot deliberate and discuss
on matters which are already there.
In court. But that sub judice itself, the discussions is only, if you look at a very famous ruling by Lord Denning, who is one of the most celebrated jurists of the last century. Sub judice ordinarily, by and large, although it's used a lot, does not have an effect on the decision of the judge. Well, discussing these things outside has very little effect on the final determination by the judges. Yes, and in any case, we can discuss this. So I'm trying to debunk the concept of saying that, because this matter is involved, so we can discuss the way we want.
Yeah.
I can tell you we can discuss that. I would love to see. I would love to see, other than some hyperbole and political speeches by lawyers up there. Political speeches by lawyers up there, because we've been subjected to that. If you look at the last petition.
Always, yeah. Even the presidential petition, you know, a lot of noise.
So has never won an election. So that's not
law and facts.
It has nothing to do with law.
Or the outcome of the court.
It has nothing to do with what's called the facts in issue. What is the issue and what are the facts as pertains to that issue itself? So other than that hyperbole, other than trying to stretch the imagination of Kenyans on sovereign will of the people, you know what I mean, Kenyans and this constitution itself, we the people, there is very little in terms of facts, in terms of law, that essentially is going to be, it's a celebrated theme. I'm actually glad that you have all these big names there, because it's also important for Kenyans to look at the big names, saying, you know, nothing.
Those things, yes.
Or rather, seeing the substance or lack of it.
Lack of substance, lack of a serious substance to debunk.
There are over 70 legal minds congregated there.